The discourse around AI in music is really broken. Everyone's panicking about AI-generated beats while missing the actual revolution, AI as an infrastructure builder. So over the past month, I've been working on building my own professional key detection and BPM detection app, and I have zero Swift experience. This is just through conversations with Claude's AI, and it's free right now, open source, and is hitting 90 to 95% accuracy. And this is the same algorithms that $58 commercial apps are using. But this isn't about KeyFinder specifically. It's about understanding what AI should actually be doing for musicians. So there's two ways to use AI in music. And the first path is having AI make your music, right? You have your AI generate the melodies, you have it write your lyrics, you have it produce your beats, and you become a creator instead of a creator. Or you can take path two, where AI builds your tools, writes the code for utilities that you need, handles infrastructure and boring math, and you keep making the actual music you care about making. Oh, did I mention that commercial software companies are going to lose their grip? One path will replace you, and the other is strictly for empowerment. And also, guess which one they don't want you to notice? Now, let's talk about what triggered me to create my KeyFinder app, right? Take a look at Mixed and Key. It's $58 basic key detection and BPM, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have Rekordbox, $10 a month for features that should really be a one-time purchase. Splice, sample access, not really key detecting or anything like that, but like, still kind of there. Auto-tune, like, okay, like whatever. This is not even my point, is like to point out like just key detectors and stuff, right? But also, these aren't creative tools. Like, these are all just like utility functions wrapped in marketing. And the thing about key detection is it's literally math, harmonic analysis algorithms that were found and published in papers from like literally the 1990s. BPM detection is also an onset detection algorithm that was published and isn't rocket science. These companies all just packaged those findings and algorithms, slapped on a user interface, and decided to charge subscription fees. What nobody's really saying out loud is that the era of paying corporations for basic utility functions is ending. And it's not because AI is making music, it's because AI can build the tools that we need for free. Like day one, I go in, I say, hey, build me a key detection app. I need BPM detection, batch processing, album art display, and a Camelot notation, right? Boom, I get my app and I go through, I do a little bit of iteration, and it's pretty much functional within the first 2 to 3 hours, right? I didn't learn Swift. I don't have a computer science degree. I described what I needed and the AI built it. Like, the only background I have in coding is HTML and CSS, which would be absolutely useless for this, right? So here's like a technical breakdown for like all the nerds and stuff. But yeah, my KeyFinder uses the same approach that commercial apps charge for. It uses the Camelot algorithm. I literally can't pronounce the dude's name, sorry. It analyzes pitch class distribution across audio, compares the known key profiles, and weighs harmonics by perceptual importance. And this is 1990s music theory math, by the way. 16K FFT resolution. For high resolution frequency analysis, it captures subtle harmonic relationships and is more accurate than 4K or 8K approaches. And the best part is the computational cost is negligible on modern hardware. Next, we have the harmonic weighing. Also, FFT output is adjusted before key analysis. And again, these are all published algorithms and not proprietary magic. And then, yeah, batch processing was very crucial. So there's parallel processing for multiple files, caching for faster subsequent runs, and then memory efficient streaming for large libraries. This is basic software engineering, and literally none of this shit I had to know. Like, I just told Claude, like, make me a KeyFinder app. Yeah, Mix and Key, they're charging like what, $50, $60. Like, do the math on the margin, please. Anyways, like, this isn't about the app. Like, it really isn't. Like, the KeyFinder app is whatever. I'm open sourcing it. It's going to be available in the description for free. But it's kind of about the pattern, right? Like, how many tools are you paying for that could be built with AI in a week, an hour, a month, etc.? Think about your audio utilities like RMS loudness analyzers, spectrum analyzers, file converters, metadata stuff, workflow tools, sample organizers, project templates, batch processor, and then like stuff that helps you with production, right? Like chord progression generator, scale reference chart, BPM calculator, or like literally any VST plugin, like a compressor, reverb, delay. Like, we all have like a million plugins that we don't use, or like don't want to pay for. And yeah, like, this is where I'm coming. Like, I feel like democratization of these tools is important, and that's where things get interesting, right? Because commercial software has always had like some type of gatekeeping built in. Geographic gatekeeping is one that's pretty prominent, because $58 is, it may not be a lot to you guys, but it is expensive in a lot of developed countries. Damn near impossible to obtain in like non-developing countries, like literally where my parents are from, There's that. And then there's the knowledge gatekeeping, where you need to know that these tools exist to use them. And marketing budgets decide who finds out. The next one is update gatekeeping, which is like, yeah, companies decide when features get added and you have to wait and usually pay more. Also, like backwards compatibility is not always guaranteed. But if the tool is open source and AI buildable, then anyone can fork it, add features, translate it, and maintain it. The power then shifts from corporations to communities. I don't think this is idealistic. I think this is inevitable. So if you want to build your own tools, here's a framework to work with. First thing you should do is identify the friction. For me, it was that I needed to know what key and BPM my samples are in, but I didn't want to pay mixing key, and I also wanted the freedom of not having to always be tethered to the internet to, drop it into TuneBat. Also, with that, you need to be specific. So I need better tools is obviously like way too vague. Like for this example, I would say like I need batch key detection with Camelot notation and BPM detection. 2, you need to research if the problem is already solved. Check GitHub, check open source repos. If somebody built 80% of it, go ahead and fork it. Don't reinvent the wheel. For KeyFinder, the algorithms existed. I just needed them packaged into a usable app for macOS that worked offline. All right, third thing is describe what you want. So open up Claude or GPT-4, it doesn't matter, and describe the tool that you need. I need a macOS app that detects musical keys using the Crumb, blah, blah, blah algorithm, displays album art, supports batch processing, and lets me export the results as a CSV file or Rekordbox file or whatever DJ file you need, and let the AI build that first version. The next thing you want to do is iterate until it works. So test it, find bugs, and report back to the AI. For example, the batch processing crashes when I upload FLAC files over 10 megabytes or something like that, right? Tell that to the AI fixes it. And this is pair programming, right? You're the product manager, the AI is the engineer. And then fifth step, release it. Make it open source and release the code. Let other people improve it and let those feature requests become contributions. You just solved your own problem and gave the community leverage. The music software industry is about to go through what web hosting went through in the 2000s. You probably don't remember this, but back in the early 2000s, you had to pay like $20 a month for basic hosting. And then GitHub came out and offered free static hosting, right? After that, Netlify came out, and then Vercel, and then now Cloudflare. And now you can host a professional site for free because infrastructure cost is now zero. And more on that later. So I think the next thing is music software. And yeah, the infrastructure cost of utility apps will just drop to, a week of AI conversations or a day or an hour. And companies charging for like premium VSTs and apps and key detection shit are going to have to compete with free open source alternatives built by users, because they will pivot to creative tools or die. The utility layer is getting commoditized, and that's pretty good. So here's the bigger picture. If AI can build your tools, you're no longer dependent on software companies. You're no longer waiting for upgrades. You are also no longer paying subscription fees for basic tools. And your infrastructure becomes independent, and that's the leverage everyone's sleeping on. While most people are panicking about how AI is making songs and beats, there is a shift going on in the background where AI is letting creators build their own ecosystems. Your DAW, your samples, your tools, your workflows. Think bigger. Fully customed, fully owned, and no monthly cost. This is not replacing musicians. This is freeing them. Okay, so now I'm going to address an obvious question. Isn't this just using AI to undercut developers who build these tools? Yeah, that's actually a pretty fair argument. But here's the counter, right? Mixing Key is charging for algorithms a long time ago, before I was even born. Antares is charging for pitch correction that is literally mathematically trivial for anybody to create on their own. Splice is charging $30 a month for access to content that they don't even own. And yeah, these companies are already extracting value without creating proportional value. So building open source alternatives doesn't hurt developers. It's forcing companies to compete on actual innovation instead of information asymmetry. If your business model depends on users not knowing how simple your product is, then I think your business model kind of deserves to die. Okay, so what's next for KeyFinder? I'm maintaining this as a community project. It's open source. It's going to be on GitHub. I've already done so much. I've made literally 7 updates, and we're not even launched yet. I haven't even dropped the product. It's not even done. As I record this video, it's still probably not done. So I'm going to leave it to the community's hands once I have a really solid version. It's going to be in the description of this video. So go ahead and download that. It's completely free. You don't have to pay me a cent. I'm good. I don't need your money. I built this shit with Claude code. I'm not a developer. I don't care. It's free, open source. It works on Mac. I will make a Windows version if there's demand. Guys, if you find bugs, please let me know. If you want features, go ahead and let me know. If you're a developer, go ahead and contribute to the repository. This is infrastructure for the music community. Go ahead and use it. And yeah, final thoughts. AI isn't here to replace us. It's here to replace corps that are extracting rent from musicians. And there is a difference. Learn to use AI as a tool builder and not a music builder. Build the utilities you need, open source them, share the leverage, and the era of paying $60 for basic math will end. Stay blessed.